Yeah, it's a great fear. All right. Cool. Okay, so you're about to tell me something you believe?
Yeah, I be believing on, to believe on the Lord and God, Jesus Christ, you know.
Cool. Yeah.
And there's also, I also believe in bad things, and like bad spirits, and stuff like that. Cause, for example, I have seen like bad things in my life, but like bad experience, like you could probably say ghost or something. And also I seen where God has been there and been helping me. So I do believe in God, and I do believe that there's a good spirit and a bad spirit.
Okay. Is it like a particular kind of God, like like some kind of Christian God or something?
Well, yeah, basically, yeah, the Christian religion.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard of it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Christian religion is not that I'm not Christian, but I know somewhat things from that religion because of my parents.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, that's pretty much yeah. Like I used to go to church back then, but then like later on I made my own life, and then I just went my own way. But
Right.
but yeah, I do believe that there's a God, and there's like a demon.
Okay. And that's because I think you said that you had like personal experiences with like you've seen some bad stuff, and then also you've seen good stuff that you think is you attribute it to God, like the good stuff that you've seen. What, if you don't mind, like, are you comfortable saying what kind of stuff you're talking about? Like,
Yeah, like
what did you see that convinced you that God is real?
I seen, like, for example, like I was in like in situation in my life where I was like really bad, and it was to a point where I was like in my head, like I was like hearing voices, like I was like, wow, like I'm turning myself, like I'm hearing things like that's a bad note, you know.
Like you're hearing things in your head?
Yeah, like
Okay.
like stuff like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I know I wasn't tripping. I know I wasn't not like
you weren't drunk or high?
Yeah, I
or
wasn't
anything?
drunk or high. I was not off drugs. I wasn't like I know what I was doing. But then yeah, like I started like that for like a week or so, and then like little by little I just seen like I didn't start going to church, but like I started like praying.
Okay.
Kind of like praying, and then like eventually I went to church and here and that, and then eventually I just like it went away. So then
the voices in your head went away?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then because a pastor prayed for me,
Mm.
and when he prayed for me, like I felt like my body. So just like we have a weight in you, and after he prayed for me, I felt like the weight.
It was
Like
just lifted?
It lifted, like it went away from me. And that's where like I started seeing like, okay, like one example, like that was one experience in my life. So that's where I kind of.
So you were hearing voices in your head, and then you started praying, and then sometimes you'd start going to church or something?
Yeah,
and then a pastor prayed for you?
A pastor prayed for me.
Okay.
He prayed for me, and then he was telling me that I was in like, I was not, and my life was not in a good path, you know? I was not going the right path. So I mean, so right now I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. No, I'm not going the right path. But I mean, I think back then where I was to now, I think I'm in a better situation in my life.
You said you're not on the right path right now?
No, right now I mean, I would say
you're on a better path.
I'm in a better path than before than where I was, but I wouldn't say I'm going the path. Where I'm supposed
the best
to go.
path.
The best path. But I mean, I think I'm doing good.
In your opinion?
In my opinion.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask you a couple more questions?
Go ahead.
So one experience that you had was where you were hearing voices, and then the pastor prayed for you, and you felt like a weight was lifted.
Right.
And I'm curious, if that experience never happened, would you still believe in God?
If that experience would not happen. No, I would still believe in God.
So what is, I guess I'm asking, like, what is the experience, or I guess I'm wondering, how would your life have to be different in order for you to not believe in God? Like, it sounds like you're saying that all of your accumulative experiences that you've had in your life, all the bad shit that you've seen and all the good stuff, makes you makes you think that God is real, right? So I'm saying if you never had those experiences, would you still believe in God?
Yeah, I would still believe in God.
Why?
Because like I said, one of my parents, and then my parents, they 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 showed me the right path, and they showed me that God does exist. Like, and they showed me a lot of things.
How did they show you that?
They showed me because we used to go to a big church, and then we used to just like we used to be there. They were really close to the pastor, and the pastor he was talking to me about like if I was interested to be somewhere like in his position, but honestly, like I was like, no, I'm not into that,
Back when you were a kid?
Yeah, back when I was like younger, like like a few years ago. But like, no, I'm not interested in that. Like, like I want to do my own life. I've come to church because I needed help. I needed like the Lord to save me.
Yeah.
And then I'm here, so it's pretty.
Wait, so it was because your parents used to take you to church. So when they started taking you to church, okay, here's a better question. Did you ever question if God was real or not?
I did. I questioned myself. I questioned my parents, and my parents always came out with yes, he's true, and they would give me examples, and then they will. I don't know. I wouldn't say they brainwashed me, but like I would be like okay, and I would ask them questions, and then like that's where like they eventually like we started going to church, or they first started to church, and then little by little like I started liking it. It's not that I don't like church or anything,
right?
But I mean, if it's like because they go to a Spanish one.
Okay.
Like if they're probably gone.
Is it like Catholic or?
No, it's a Christian.
Okay, cool.
So they like if they would have gone to an English one, I'm pretty sure I would understand more, pay more attention. But I mean.
Oh, you weren't good with Spanish? Or?
I mean, it's not that I'm good. It's not that I'm good, but like some words I don't understand them that they say about like the Bible and things. So I mean, in English I'll understand them way more than in Spanish.
Got it. So you said you did question your parents and you questioned yourself and all that kind of stuff. Did you ever? Let's see. What kind of questions were you asking, and what kind of answers did your parents give you?
I would just ask like, who's God? Who made who made this like the planet, like the nature?
Yeah.
And the question they will always tell me was, there was Lord, something about the Lord. I'm like, okay, so how was he? And was saying that they were telling me that he lived a long time ago, and that he had a son, and that he sacrificed his son for us to come to this world.
The Lord lived a long time ago and sacrificed his son. Okay.
And I was like, okay. So I was just asking them more questions and more information, but then they were going right deeper into it. And I would just eventually be like, what are you guys telling me? Like, honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I do believe in God, but like I was just lost by the answer that they were telling me.
Right. So what did you ever get clarification?
Yeah. From the pastor. I literally went up like about this, like how does this work? Like one of my curious thing is that all the time when they're praying for them and like they start crying, like I always wonder like why do you guys start crying? Like like what do you guys get sentimental like about that? And he would just, the only answer is that he told me was that when they start doing like that, or the reaction is because the Lord is touching them. It's touching their soul, their body. Okay. So I was like, okay. So like I was like those type of questions I was just kind of like asking them.
Okay.
But, like,
I think I get what you're saying. Thanks for sitting down. I have one. It's kind of a double question. It's how, on a scale of 0 to 100, how confident would you say you are in this belief of yours?
From a 0 to 100? I'll probably say like around 60.
60? Okay.
60, around there.
Why aren't you at 100?
I'm not at 100 because I don't go to church. I don't go to like those type events that they be having for the Christian religion. So that's why I'm at a 60%. If I would have gone to church, or like an English church, or a church that caught my attention or anything, I probably would have been at 90 or 100.
If you're, I'm more asking about how confident you are that because your original belief was like the Christian God is real and all that. So you're saying if you go to church more, you think that will make you more confident in the belief. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you could think of that would make you less confident? Like, could you have any experience, or is there anything that you could learn
Experience.
to make you doubt?
Uh, I never had a bad experience at church or not doubt. I don't know. It could be hard.
Well, just do a quick experiment here. Do you mind joining in for just this quick question? So, there's a certain amount of Tic Tacs in this box. None of us know how much is in here, right? But let's say that I guess that there was an odd amount of Tic Tacs in here, and that you guessed there was an even amount.
Okay.
And then we take all the candies out of the box, and it turns out that you're right. There's like 22 in here, so it's an even number. Would you be comfortable saying that you're right and I'm wrong in that situation?
I mean, yes, because I basically proved it wrong. I have the right answer and you were wrong.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I would have said something like that.
Great. So now I'm wondering, how can we do that with this belief of yours? Like, let's say, like in this instance, I believe that there was an odd amount of Tic Tacs in here, but the way that we found out between the two of us was we took them out and we counted them up, right?
Mm-hmm.
How could you find out, if you could, that your belief in God is false? What would have to happen?
And what would have pretty much like it has to be something between my family. If something like I know it sounds like pretty strong, but like if something happens for like to my family, I'll be like that's what I'll think about it again, like why,
like how could God let this happen?
Yeah, right. Well, how can God let this happen to my parents, especially that knowing them, they're really into church.
Yeah.
And like, so yeah, it's pretty much something like that has to happen in my life for me to think about if it's right, if it's real or not.
Thanks, Eddie.
Of course, man.
Thanks for sitting down.
Of course.
You guys have a good day. Do you mind if I post it online?
Of course, I don't mind.
Okay, sweet.
What's your YouTube? I'll be more.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, it's so my first name is Quinn.
Quinn?
And Quinn, Quinn.
Okay, let me just write it down. You know what? Let me subscribe my one.
Cool, yeah. And then the channel is.
There you go. You can look it up yourself.
You got service down here?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Are you looking at phase videos?
Yeah, I've been looking at those phase videos sometimes.
Do you play any games?
Yep. I play Call of Duty. It's not the new one, the Vanguard. I play the other one, Modern Warfare.
Okay.
I play that one. Cold War, I don't really like it.
Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, the only Call of Duties I played and really liked was like back when I was in high school. It was like Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 and 2.
Oh, Black Ops 1 was one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
Wow, I really hope it comes back to PS5 or something. But that game was one of the best in my opinion.
You got a PS5?